Yeah, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease when I was 10 years old. A year later, though, during blood tests, they saw that my liver enzymes were high, and they diagnosed me with primary sclerosing cholangitis, PSC. So I was still at a young age where I didn't really understand what was going on. Viva and I went to camp together a long time ago, and then we started dating when we were 16.
I knew Yanai from when we were 12 years old, but I switched high schools after 10th grade, and we started dating in 11th grade. So in 11th grade, I knew that he had something going on. I would go with him. He would get Remicade infusions, more for the Crohn's, nothing to do with the liver. And I always just knew that his liver disease was something that was monitored but wasn't really an issue.
When we started dating, I don't think she knew what she was getting into. I didn't know that she was going to be a nurse, and we didn't know that I was going to have any issues with disease.
I met Yanai and his parents. He was maybe 10 at that time. This young kid at a time when life should be pretty easy was facing pain, discomfort, and danger. He was very sick. He was malnourished. He was having fevers. His liver wasn't working that well, and we were pretty convinced that he was going to need a transplant sooner rather than later.
I'll be honest, the first time I met Dr. Aman, I was scared of him. And that's because for the longest time I was just seeing GI doctors and had never really discussed the idea of surgery. And here comes my first surgeon. He's brilliant, he's, so friendly, but that didn't come across. In the first meeting, I'm meeting a surgeon. Why am I meeting with this person? I am so scared.
And there's the bile duct system, which is a pipe system that gathers all the wastes from all the liver cells and brings it out into the intestines. That pipe system is very delicate with a soft architecture, and patients who have PSC get immune attack of that beautiful pipe system that's eventually turned into a series of stiff tubes full of scar tissue with blockages at almost every branch point. Over the years, it was possible to keep the bile flowing despite all the scarring. That and a combination of controlling the Crohn's with antibiotics, nutritional interventions, and other medical treatments to prevent the bowels from flaring up, controlled his infections and permitted him to recover to the point where he could go to school, he could grow, he could be active, and maintain a rich social life.
4 years into our marriage, I started getting pretty sick.
We were also, we had just graduated from school, we were starting jobs, and we wanted to try and have kids, so we were going through both of those things at the same time. I guess starting a family kind of took a back seat when his health started declining, and we just knew that that was something that needed he needed to get healthier before we could start a family. The scariest time for us was I was already a few months pregnant, and I was working nights, and at about 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning, I got a call from Yanai. So I knew that something was wrong, and he told me that he had just thrown up blood, and I said, you need to come to the hospital right away. So he came in, and I just remember seeing the way that the doctors were all responding and jumping up, and they transferred him to the ICU, I would say within an hour of him coming through the emergency room. They really made it seem like it was like a life and death situation, like if they didn't respond immediately, like he could just continue bleeding and his blood pressure would go down. That was probably the scariest night. Fast forward maybe 2 months, I was, I think, 6 months pregnant.
The moment he said that liver is good for you and it's time to go, I was ready.
And I think that morning we couldn't believe that it was actually happening.
The way livers are allocated to patients is based on severity of illness. And there's a score that's used called the MELD score, which is really a measure of how poorly the liver is working.
So we went into Dr. Aman's office, and he discussed with us, about the liver. I think it was more excitement than the feeling of like, was he gonna come out of this? I never felt that way. I felt like he was in good hands, and I felt like this was one step towards making him a healthy person again.
I woke up in the ICU, and Aviva tells me I was on more machines and more IV poles than she's ever seen in her career.
He didn't look too good, but within a few days, his color started coming back, and it was just so fast how he was doing better from the transplant right afterwards.
Well, my first memory was in the ICU when I was able to walk, and Aviva and I walking together, her with her belly sticking out, 6 months pregnant, and me in a hospital gown, able to begin our lives together in a new way, as a healthy couple.
3 months later, he became the dad of a beautiful set of twins.
If this didn't happen soon, we were gonna have 2 babies, Plessy and I, like in frail health, and we were just really so lucky that the transplant came when it did. Thank God he's feeling well. He's functioning like a normal father would, and it doesn't cross my mind every day that, he had a liver transplant.
He's in good shape, but we've got 60 years of maintenance that we have to do so that he can continue to enjoy his family and enjoy his grandchildren the way they're going. They're going to have a lot of grandchildren, and we want to be there for it.
So the transplant was over 4 years ago, but the disease never goes away in a sense, and you continue to fight every day for what for your health. And I think even at this point, with a wonderful family, I still worry about the future. So organizations like the American Liver Foundation give me peace of mind, and other transplant and liver disease survivors and patients who know that the only way we're ever going to get fully healthy is with the right research and the right care. And an organization like the American Liver Foundation, which raises money for the advancement of research, helps give me a sense that everything will be all right in the future. I'm sorry my family and I aren't able to attend this wonderful 13th annual Honors Gala, but I ask that you now please give your attention to the Funda grant and help as much as you can. Thank you.